It almost feels like a dirty secret. I was jumping off of a cliff. I think I opened my phone 30 minutes ago to like 7 hate comments in a row. I changed my identity twice. How did I get here? I have been on this path since I was a kid. Hello, sexy people. It's me, Clarice. Today, I'm just gonna be me. I'm gonna let you get to know me, and I'm gonna free yap. Let's get to know each other first before we get into all these life lessons and things like that, okay? I'm 24 years old, I live in California, and for the past 6 months, I have been traveling around Asia, primarily Vietnam, in search of myself. I had a quarter-life crisis. I quit my job. I was a nurse for 2 years. I decided to just be creative. And what that looked like for me was writing, making content, modeling, creative shoots, making short films, writing stories. I genuinely can't believe that I had the privilege to do that. Like, I can't believe I got to just fuck off for 6 months and just live. Of course, there were lots of ups and downs, and I did put a lot of pressure on myself to continue working, making content, things like that. But every single decision was my own. I didn't have to clock in. I didn't have to make money for someone else. I did whatever I wanted to do. Damn, I feel lucky for that. And I was able to do that because I lived at home, so I was able to save so much money while I was nursing and invest that back into myself and this life journey. But time is up. I have come back home. I'm hit with a lot of emotions, hence me making this video. The initial thing that was the most difficult about coming home was honestly realizing that no matter how much time has passed, no matter how much I have developed into this new identity, this new version of myself who's stronger, more confident, has more agency, resources, no matter how different I become and how grown I become, when I come home, my nervous system probably will always revert back to that scared, timid, anxious adolescent. Growing up, I had a lot of struggles mentally, and I still do, which is great because it makes me like, a more full, interesting human being. Same with you. That's why we get along. That's why we connect. I didn't know how to handle those emotions and those thoughts when I was younger. The driving force behind a lot of my fear was feeling stuck. Feeling like I would be stuck, glued to my bed, in my hometown, in my childhood home, forever. It felt so out of reach. The life that I wanted for myself and the version of myself that I knew I had to become to have that life. It felt so out of reach. And this is the first time in my life that I actually feel like I'm embodying that version of me that I've always wanted to be so desperately. I'm embodying that person. I'm making so many good moves in life. I'm planting so many seeds. I'm building everything I want to build for myself. But my nervous system is still stuck in that old place. It takes a lot of rewiring and communication between our brain, our heart, our nervous system to get everybody on the same page. And it's never going to happen overnight. And sometimes when you make progress, the next day you'll slip right back. It's not linear, man. I've had to remind myself of that constantly. It's not linear. And that's okay. I have some good days, I have some bad days. I know we all do. Don't get stuck in the bad days. I feel like this is kind of corny advice. Like, obviously, don't get stuck in the bad days, but man, whatever. Corny advice works sometimes, okay? I like corny advice. Don't get stuck in the bad days. Remember that if you want something, you were meant to have it. That's what I believe. That is the belief that I choose to have. Me holding on to this belief that everything that I want is attainable and true because it was meant to be mine, otherwise I wouldn't dream of having it. Having this belief is what let me become the person I am today, the person that I have always wanted to be. And it's not perfect. I'm not done. This is not my final form, but this is the closest I have ever been to feeling so proud of myself and so eager and excited for my future. This is the farthest I've ever gotten. Wherever you are in your journey, if you're close, if you're far, you can always begin again tomorrow. You can wake up and decide, okay, Today's the day I brush myself off and I work towards it. And there's so many tools that will get you there. So I already spoke about me holding on to this belief, right? That the things I want are meant for me. You hold on to that belief and then you get really clear about the vision. What is it exactly that you want? What type of person do you want to be? Like, what does that person look like? How do they speak? What type of friends do they have? How do they dress? What do they eat? Like, get really, really clear on this vision of the version of yourself that you want to become. And then, once you have the vision down, you need to embody it. This part feels a bit like acting at first. I talk to myself all day, every day. I have since I was a kid. And when I was a kid, I did this as a coping mechanism because oftentimes I felt very alone and I didn't have people I could reach out to. So I became my own best friend. I became my own guardian and protector. And I also became the alter ego version of myself. Like, I can't believe I'm sharing all these secrets. There's a lot of people that talk about doing these things, the manifestation, building your new identity, your new life. It almost feels like a dirty secret of mine, honestly. I've been on this path since I was a kid. I love self-help. I love spirituality. I love manifestation. But it has felt like a dirty secret because I think we all have this idea that it's, sexy and cool to be mysterious, but I don't. As I get older, I care less and less about being perceived any type of way. I just care about having the courage to be myself and to show up authentically. That to me is really sexy and cool now. Growth. I like that. So yeah, I'm gonna tell you all my dirty little secrets. The first time I changed my life, I was in the 7th grade. Leading up to this point, I had a lot of social anxiety. I would have anxiety attacks thinking about going to school. I would spend hours prepping mentally and fixing my appearance and literally running lines in my head of what I should say to this person or that person and if people like me. It was dark days, to say the least. I think I would write on my calendar on Fridays, be cool, because I wanted to, be cool on Fridays. I don't even random, but I was down bad. Yeah. And I think I had so much social anxiety because I grew up, number one, feeling very alone. Number two, I had very kind of overprotective guardians. And, there's trouble at home. I was in a lot of unsafe situations as a child that compromised my sense of safety and my sense of self-worth. So I think everything combined contributed to me developing social anxiety. And I had a stutter. It was just really hard for me to show up as myself. I truly didn't know how to. And so I decided I need to change everything before I start middle school. I was like, this is my chance. I can have a fresh start. I can make friends. I could just, learn how to be myself. But at that point, I didn't have experience being myself. So there was still a big disconnect. Being myself oftentimes felt like being someone else entirely because I didn't know what my life could look like without having so much insecurity, anxiety, and fear. So I got to learning. God bless my grandpa. I love him so much. I begged him to drive me to Barnes & Noble's almost every single weekend. And he would buy me whatever books I wanted, and I would always go straight to the self-help section. Literally. I still have some of these books right here. Like, I'm gonna show you. Okay, shoot. A lot of them are actually in my old bedroom, but this is one of them. I carried this book with me everywhere as a 7th grader. I remember I took that DC trip with the class, and I had this in my luggage, and I was hiding it. But I would take it to the bathroom just to flip through some of the pages and, like, refresh my memory on the things that I was learning. Oh my god, this is so cute, dude. Leaving your comfort zone. I don't know why, but I drew a bunch of smiley faces around it. Like, a lot of people, like, will think this stuff is really corny and kind of embarrassing, but this stuff saved my life. This stuff saved my life when I was in a very, very dark place and I did not know who to reach out to. Yeah, so going into 7th grade, I was reading so many self-help books, literally one after the other. Daniel Carnegie, Tony Robbins. I was listening to TED Talks all day, every day. I was doing all of the exercises that they were telling me to do, the visualization, the manifestation, the embodying. I was doing it. And I mean, I was also keeping it a secret. Yeah. But this time, it's not a secret. I'm sharing all the sauce because I have nothing to hide. And I'm really proud of my younger self. I'm really proud of my younger self for having the determination to go through all this extra learning and all this effort to change her life. I saw something I didn't like and I changed it and I made something better for myself. So, yeah, going into middle school, I was able to make a bunch of friends. I found talking to people so much easier. I still struggled a little bit with having a stutter. Like, I would have to pause, take a breath sometimes before speaking, especially like in a group, but it just kept getting better and better and better. Okay, so that was the first time I changed my identity. The second time I had to do this was 6 months ago. This is how it happened. I went to school. I got the degree. I got the job. I got everything done that the people around me told me I needed to do in order to be successful. And it's not just listening to the people around me, family upbringing, things like that. It's also like I convinced myself that this is what I wanted because I was too afraid to reach for my actual goals, my actual dreams. I didn't think I had it in me. Whatever. I'm sitting here. I'm like 3/4 of the way done with my ER residency. I have a pretty good life. I'm proud of the work that I do. The ER residency was really hard too. It's really hard to work in the ER. So much love and respect to healthcare workers, especially first responders. You don't even know. You don't even know the half of it. And I was only working there for like a year and a half. It's really, really not just emotionally taxing and physically grueling work, but it's also dangerous work. Dude, the type of diseases and things that you are exposed to on top of being in unsafe working environments, I'm not going to go down that tangent right now, but you kind of get the picture. Anyways, I am almost done with this program. I'm, a fully fledged nurse. I'm in a relationship. I have friends. I have a pretty good lifestyle. I'm making the most money I've ever made. And I'm just so unhappy. I am so, so unhappy. And when I look in the mirror, I don't recognize myself. And I just had this terrible nagging feeling that if I didn't do something about it soon, I would be stuck there forever. It's always that feeling. It's a driving feeling of the fear of being stuck. The fear of like already being stuck. So, anyways, I did everything that I was supposed to do on paper. And in real life, I didn't like it. And because of all those emotions I was feeling, I was forced to ask myself, what is it you actually want? What is it that you have been so afraid of admitting to yourself? And the crazy thing is, I couldn't even answer. I couldn't even answer those questions. I didn't fully know, and I still don't fully know. But intuitively, I just knew I was not where I was supposed to be. And right now, with everything that I've done and the person that I'm growing into, I feel intuitively that I'm on the right path. Whereas before, I knew I was on the wrong path. I don't know what these different paths mean. I don't know where exactly it is I'm trying to go, but I just know this path that I'm on right now, the path that I couldn't even see or describe at all before, was a more authentic, true path than the one I was currently on, and so I jumped. Because, why not? Why not, and if not now, when? I jumped. I quit my job. I told my family I was leaving. I ended my relationship. You don't have to do all of this. You don't have to blow up your entire life to change your identity, but this is just what I felt like I had to do. And so I did. I said goodbye to everything I was doing. I got a one-way ticket out of the country to go home to Vietnam. I'm sorry. Vietnam has never been home, but the fact that I just said home to Vietnam right now is really cute and kind of crazy. Let's get into this too. When I went to Vietnam, I knew I had family there that I met once when I was really young, but I didn't really know anybody. I didn't have any friends. All I had was a phone. I was starting to post on social media, and it was starting to get a bit of traction, and thank God for social media. Use whatever resources you have. I just had a phone. I had the ability to share and post and show up authentically, and that led to every single opportunity, friendship, connection that I made out in Vietnam. It's crazy. Use whatever resources you have. I did have a friend from home. Shout out Vivian. I love you. She was there at the same time as me when I first got to Vietnam. So I did have a friend to sort of, go around, explore, meet some people with. But more or less, I did not have a plan. I didn't know what I was doing. I rented a place at a hotel for a month, and then I was kind of traveling around. But through social media and consistently showing up authentically and just being like, hey, my name's Clarice. Mi ciao. I'm out here. I don't know what's going on. I don't know what I'm doing, but I would like to explore being a creative. I'm building a new life for myself. If anyone wants to connect, I'm here. So many people reached out to me. So many people. And then I met my roommate. Shout out Rose, I love you. I met Nhi. She connected me with so many people creatively and helped me bring my stories, my dreams to reality with our short films. I love you. Shout out Jono. I know it's funny that I'm doing this. I know I'm not winning any sort of award, but I just want to give space to these people because I love them so much and for what they did for me while I was out there in Vietnam. Shout out Rose. Shout out Nhi. Shout out Haley. Shout out Phop. Shout out Anne. Shout out Graham. Shout out Will. Shout out my cousin Toe. Oh my god, I love you so much. My sister. Shout out. Oh my gosh, I don't even know. What I'm getting at right now is I found home in a foreign place. I built a sense of community and I found home. And it's more than I could have asked for. I feel like these people just took me in and held me and gave me space and got to know me and worked with me, created with me, built with me when they didn't even know me. Call it luck. Call it charisma. I'm so corny. Call it charisma. I don't know. Call it what you want to call it, but I took a leap. I kept dreaming. I kept manifesting. I kept showing up authentically. And the net appeared. These people, this community, it appeared. Whatever it is you're trying to build for yourself, get real about the vision. Get real about your why. And once you're ready to fly, be prepared to fall flat on your face. I'm not trying to make it sound all amazing. I had plenty of moments where I was crashing the fuck out. I was crashing out. Bad. Really bad. Should I talk more about that? I think I should talk about the bad as well. Yeah. Wait, oh my god. See, I'm sorry. This is what's gonna happen. The video's not scripted. I'm just free yapping. Let me try to connect this chapter before I move on to the other chapter where I talk about the bad. What I was saying was, there's 2 points in my life where I changed my life. That was when I was a 7th grader and I was reading self-help books. I pulled myself out of social anxiety. The second time was 6 months ago, where I finished school, had a good job, good relationship, good lifestyle, but I just wasn't happy. And I had to get real with myself, that I needed to explore a different life. I needed to explore being a creative. I needed to heal so many parts of myself I had been ignoring. And through that, I created myself. The one that you see sitting before you today. It's not like I changed so much. I'm still myself. My essence, my core, it's still the same. I have more or less the same values, but I have so much more self-confidence now. Just the act of speaking, sharing, posting on social media, man, it's not easy. I think I opened my phone 30 minutes ago to 7 hate comments in a row. 5 of them were from the same guy just going through my videos hating, and I was like, okay. And at first it was kind of hard, but I quickly learned that the world, people, they're gonna misunderstand you and they're gonna judge you anyways, so you might as well go about your life loudly, taking up space, and just doing you. You might as well stay true to yourself and build something cool for yourself. So I'm gonna keep on posting. But, oh my god, what was I saying? You'll have to forgive me. It's the first podcast style episode, okay? And like I said, I had a script, but it just didn't feel right. This feels right. Even though it's all over the place and I'm gonna have a headache editing myself, it just feels right. I'm gonna keep pushing forward. I changed my identity twice, and it all starts with facing your hard emotions, being authentic about why you're having those hard emotions, and then having the courage to fly without a net, without a parachute. Just fly. When I was a kid, every time I went up and talked to someone and tried to make a new friend, it felt like I was flying. I felt so scared, even though that's such a small, simple act. Like, who gives a fuck? I could talk to anyone and not care. But when I was younger, that felt like I was slaying a Goliath. That felt like I was jumping off of a cliff, you know? And that's the great thing about taking these risks and taking these jumps. 6 months ago, when I quit my life, job, relationship, and left the country, it felt like I was jumping off of a cliff. I was actively crashing out for, I think, 2 months straight. I was just crying and confused, and I felt stupid. So stupid. And I was totally having regrets. I totally was. But I just kept pushing forward. And me now, I can leave the country. I can start a new life. I can build community, make friends wherever I go. I have that agency and that self-assurance now. And if I never took that leap, I would have never been this person. That's what I want life to be about. I want to just keep taking one leap after the other, one leap after the other, no matter how scary it feels. Because time and time again, these leaps have proven to be so fruitful. The self-development, the self-assurance, the joy and fulfillment that is felt when you finish the leap and you do somehow land on your feet after stumbling and falling and getting up again. It is so fulfilling. Okay, I would love to talk about the bad, but I think for now, I think that's enough for now. No, let's talk about the bad. Let's talk about the bad. Okay, the bad. Some of the bad moments. Number one, I got this. Okay, number one. I'm not going to count my crash out, mentally low moments as the bad because I think that's a given, right? Like, of course that's going to come with it. Let's just talk about some tangible things. Number one, I smoked a lot of cigarettes. Like, a lot. And I mean, everyone smokes in Asia, Europe. It's so common. It's hard to escape. But I leaned into it way too much. And I think I kind of romanticized it a bit. When you're like in a new place and you're alone and your mind's kind of in travel mode, you're like, it's fine. I wasn't in travel mode. I was there for 6 months and I was smoking cigarettes like every day. I had periods where I quit and I was talking about that on my socials, being like, hey, day 1, no vices. Day 2, no vices. Guys, I fell back. And even coming home, it's still been hard. I've gotten a vape, trashed it, and gotten another one. This is so embarrassing, but 3 times now. 3. That's a lot of money wasted, too. I just picked up some Nicorette and some nicotine mints, so we're gonna try that. Number 2, I spent way more money than I thought I was. Like I said, I saved up. I was living at home. I had a good cushion to ride off of, leaving and going to Asia. And I got some modeling gigs here and there, which, paid for some stuff, but I wasn't working consistently. And I spent a lot on my short films. My last short film was, I think, over double the budget that I had set aside for it. And that I take full responsibility for that. I was pushing really short time frames. I love everyone that worked with me so much on these short films, Requiem for a Girl and The Hunger Between Us. It was amazing. It was my first time trying out filmmaking. Okay, you can call them short films. Some might just call them shorts. It's fine. It was still a lot of work, regardless. I don't regret it. I don't regret one thing about anything that I did on this journey. And I definitely don't regret any of those projects. It pushed me. And I saw a whole different side of myself. I got to learn so much about filmmaking and the creative industry. And I'm doing this on such a smaller scale, but shit, I learned a lot. Mad respect for all of my creative friends. It's a very brave and scary route to take. It's not easy to always put yourself out there like that, but I really learned. Okay, number 3, falling on my face. I want to talk about the process of making short films in another video because there's so much I need to talk about. Like, I want to share everything. How the idea got started, how the team was built, the budget, the scheduling, everything that went into it. I have so much to yap about on that. Hopefully next week or the week after. But I like fully crashed out more than once, maybe more than twice, like right before having to share the projects. No one likes their first. That's what I've heard. I do like them, but it's just so hard for me to watch. I don't know why. There's still a lot of shame that we're working through around like being seen and exploring, but I'm also proud of myself. Having that dog in me to be a beginner at something and be so loud and vocal sharing about it. Pride? Don't know her. No, we should all have some pride. I just mean like, I don't care to have an inflated sense of self, you know? I am a beginner. There's a lot I don't know, and there's a lot I'm not good at, frankly. But I'm going to share about it. Sharing online has built the most beautiful community for me. Online, in real life, it's helped me a lot in my sense of self-confidence, withstanding judgment. And I just feel like the opportunities keep coming. There's always going to be things I don't like, but there's a lot more things that I like than I don't like. So, yeah, I love sharing. And I love social media for this. Also, I love talking about myself. I said it. I love talking about myself. I have main character syndrome. I'm a princess. I'm an only child. Whatever. I love it. This is my story. And I'm going to shout it from the rooftops. And whatever your story is, I want to hear it too. I think it's cool getting to watch people online because, I mean, it's kind of just like watching a bunch of different case studies, right? Like, you don't have to take anyone's advice. You don't have to follow anyone's directions or path, but you get to look at all these different people and you get to look at what they've done for themselves, how they've messed up, how they've achieved things. And if something clicks, if something in their story connects to you and you want to try it out and it works, or if it doesn't work, that's just cool. I'm just a girl on the internet presenting an option, entertaining you, and hopefully leaving you with something that inspires you to live a more truthful, authentic life. Okay, I think that's it. Catch me next week. I love you, and I love yapping to you. Bye. Subscribe and like for an energetic hug, and also you can follow me on TikTok and Instagram at Club Clary, CLUBCLARI. Kisses. Love ya. Bye.